Hey friends, what's up? How's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. It is new fragrance time. Got some new stuff announced and some pretty big things actually. A new Chanel men's fragrance. It has been a while, like a long while. I think 6 years since Bleu de Chanel Parfum, and since then it's been a whole bunch of nothing. So a new Chanel men's fragrance, a new Paco Rabanne release in the 1 million line, or is it million now? We'll talk about that. A new Calvin Klein and maybe a new Parfum Marley? Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, some pretty cool stuff. Let's jump into it, and I'll leave in the description where you can find more about these if you want. You can go to ifragranceofficial.com, ifragranceofficial, and also Fragrance City at Instagram. Fragrance City. Where do we want to start here, guys? Let's start with the Chanel. So as I said, Chanel and men's fragrances. Haven't heard much of that lately. Not much at all, no. Bleu de Chanel, like I said, has not had a new release in quite some time, and the Allure line been even longer. I think Chanel needs to go ahead and hit us with the new Bleu de Chanel. I mean, I think most of you would agree, right? I mean, come on. Sauvage gave us the elixir and you've given us nothing. But maybe even more so, a new line. That could be something that either explodes in popularity immediately and everybody goes crazy for it, or it's a massive letdown, which is maybe why they haven't done it. Because when you have a fragrance brand like Christian Dior or Chanel and they drop a whole new line, that's something that's gonna get people talking. And if it doesn't quite hit, ooh, yeah, that could leave a dent. So this is a new Chanel Allure Homme Sport flanker, and it's called Superleggera. Now here's the deal with this one. It is just barely starting to make the rounds as far as like the picture getting out there and one of the media shots, things like that. So no official, no breakdown just yet, no write-up from the brand, but we can deduce a little bit by taking a look at the bottle and the name. So the bottle itself kind of looks like a cross between Allure Homme Sport Cologne in terms of it being see-through and then having some of the red lettering on the front there. And then the cap is more reminiscent of like your normal Chanel Allure Homme Sport or Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. And the name, Superleggera, that means super light. This may well be one of the most befuddling fragrance releases that I've seen announced ever. It's really just kind of like, what? For real? It's been 6 years since a Bleu de Chanel. It has been a decade since an Allure Homme flanker of any kind. And that one, which came out in 2014, was Allure Homme Edition Blanche Eau de Parfum, which was just basically a changing up of Edition Blanche, which came out in 2008. So it wasn't even like a real new flanker. It was just, hey, it's the same thing, but a little different. Nice. The EDT went away, the EDP came to be. And that was in 2014. If you go back, past that, the last real flanker was 2012. Which was Eau Extreme. So it's been 12 years and they were like, we gotta come out with a new one. I got it, Allure Homme Sport Super Light, because that's what people want. A Chanel that's gonna be really pricey most likely, but the name makes you think, it's barely there, baby. Oof, oof. The feeling of just paying a ton of money to have something that's barely noticeable right after you spray it on, that is Now, of course, it may be very strong. Who knows? It's not out just yet, but it's just one of those things where I find the name maybe slightly questionable, but it probably doesn't really matter that much, at least in the US. People will just see it says Superleggera and they'll be like, that sounds pretty cool. I don't know what it means though. Okay, so the expectation that I would have in terms of the actual scent profile is that it would be closest to Allure Homme Sport Cologne, and that one had a lot of citrus in it off the top. Had lemon, bergamot, orange, grapefruit, and neroli. So just a big old citrus bomb when you spray that one on. Actually a really good scent. It doesn't get talked about a whole lot, but it does smell really nice. It's got similarities to Allure Homme cologne, which means it also has some vague similarities to Jimmy Choo Man Ice, Mercedes-Benz cologne. It's kind of in that style and that wheelhouse. So if you smelled any of those fragrances, you know what I'm talking about. That opening, decently similar between all of those. And for a freshie, Allure Homme Sport cologne is not too bad as far as the performance goes. When you smell the amount of citrus that's in there, you know, you may think this stuff is going to be fleeting, gone in like an hour or something, but it has some decent staying power. So my expectation again is that it's somewhere in that style, but we don't have too much more to go on at this point other than just the look, the name, and the fact that it has been trademarked. So should be coming out before too long, and I'm sure that they're gonna have more info that hits us pretty soon as far as like the full note breakdown and everything, but I would expect it to be a citrusy, summery scent, and hopefully it is not, in fact, super light. Let's talk next about the Paco Rabanne, and this one is strange to me. They have dropped the 1 from 1 million. It's called Million Gold. You know, there's this whole thing that's been going on with Paco Rabanne ever since Paco Rabanne died. It seems like they've been trying to change things up a little bit. So if you look at different presentations on newer releases, instead of saying Paco Rabanne, you know, it says Rabanne. They removed the Paco from Paco Rabanne. Is that a good thing? Don't know. But now they have removed the 1 from 1 million. So it's called Million Gold. And I swear, guys, I don't know if this is intentional. I don't see how it couldn't be. But when you look at that bottle, does it not look like just a huge 0 million gold? So we went from 1 million gold to 0 million gold. We invested in meme coins, in crypto, and lost all of it. I was a millionaire, now I've got 0 million. Yeah, so 0 million gold, a new release. Oh boy. But I'm hoping that it's good. I mean, Paco Rabanne has had a good amount of releases here lately that have been really, really nice. So let's see what they say. The new Million Gold men's perfume expresses the extravagant irreverence of success. The extravagant irreverence. The ecstatic energy that makes you rise to gold in an instant. Rabanne's new intense eau de parfum, molded in an instant, celebrates the new interpretation of the Million Man. I don't know, guys. Something about this, the write-up, it's making my brain blah. The interpretation of the Million Man. So now I guess we're Million Men. Anybody who buys these. The perfume has a super woody, addictive, extra large dose of sensual golden sandalwood, which is addictive and textured. It's an addictive, extra large dose of sensual golden sandalwood, which is addictive. Just in case you're unaware. Extra large doses of fresh mandarin, warm cedar, and powerful spices. Million Gold should cost $1 billion to look this good on your skin. Who wrote this? Fire them. Million Gold should cost $1 billion to look this good on your skin? What? What does that even mean? You spray it on, you can't even see the stuff. God. So stupid. Note breakdown shows a top of golden sandalwood and mandarin, mid of warm cedar and spices, and a base of intense wood. I like how they said twice that there are extra large doses of the ingredients. Extra large dose of, again, addictive, sensual golden sandalwood, and then extra large doses of fresh mandarin, warm cedar, and powerful spices. And it's an eau de parfum intense. If this stuff doesn't just actively flay my skin off when I spray it on, I'll be disappointed. I'm expecting power that is just absurd, levels that have never been touched before. I feel like this stuff is really gonna ramp it up, like just hardcore. I don't see how it can't when they're really, you know, talking about it like that. So as I said before, you know, Paco has been pretty solid, man. They put out some stuff here lately that's been really good. This note breakdown keeps it in line with what I would expect from a 1 million fragrance. Sandalwood, mandarin, cedar, spices, you know, intense woods. And I would assume that those intense woods are gonna be pretty sweet, if I had to guess. You know, it is a 1 million after all. I'm still gonna call it that. I'm not gonna call it 0 million gold. So with this one, we may have a front runner for the strongest fragrance of the year. And it's one that I am absolutely looking forward to because it's either gonna hit me with intensity and smell great, or it's gonna blow my nose off in the most horrific of ways. And I'm totally looking forward to that. Let's talk about this PDM. Now this one is very much up in the air, very much up in the air. So the word is that it's supposed to be hitting next month. It's not very long from now, yep. But people don't quite seem to know if it's completely legit or not just yet. There's been rumblings and talkings about it being a legitimate release, and there's even like notes and things like that, some different mock-ups of the bottle and everything, but I guess we'll have to see. So let's talk about what it is, if it is what it is. So the name is Imperious, and it comes in this pretty cool looking purple and gold presentation. I like the look. We've got no write-up or anything from the brand, obviously, because as I just said, there's really not a ton of info out about this one just yet. Who knows, maybe it's PDM just trolling us, just making believe, you know? Just putting it out there as a fake to mess with us all. Dastardly. Or maybe it's just actually completely legit. It could be that too. So the notes, apple, vanilla, saffron, heliotrope, rum, and possibly oud. Again, Fragrance City on Instagram, you can find it there. And I will say once again, as I have said in the past, for Parfums de Marly, I typically gravitate a little more toward their cool weather fragrances. I think that they just really, really do that, you know, designer wearability with niche quality thing better than about anybody. You know, Herod, Leighton, all the big dogs. Good, it's good stuff. And this one would appear to be kind of in that realm, assuming that it is as it's being presented currently. Apple and vanilla, yeah, that's gonna give me some nice shades of Leighton, right? Or at least put me in that mindset possibly, but then you've got other things in there like the saffron, the rum, Jack Sparrow would like that. Maybe a little oud in there, and then heliotrope, which could give it a kind of an almondy feel depending on how it's used. So assuming that this one is legitimate and it hits as well as they have shown they can do, that could be a big one. That could be one of those niche fragrances that everybody and their mama is trying to run and grab. And that would be one that I would be scooping up as soon as it became available for sale, even though it's pretty pricey. Let's go from that to a cheapie, or a future cheapie to wrap things up. CK1 Essence by Calvin Klein. Fresh, provocative, unapologetic, the intense fragrance for all. Calvin Klein CK1 Essence is twice as concentrated as the original icon, crafted with premium, certified, responsibly sourced ingredients. The new fragrance features top notes of sparkling Italian bergamot and blood orange that add vibrant intensity to the fragrance. Organic green tea accords are drenched in a warm base of natural sandalwood and upcycled musk. The feeling is clean and sensual, a recyclable bottle with a modern translucent metallic finish. So a very typical CK1 note breakdown: citrus, tea, sandalwood, musk. Twice as potent as the original, which is actually not saying a whole lot, no. And I wonder if this is just basically that, CK1, but ramped up and turned into a fragrance that has a little more push to it, a little more intensity to it. Need to go ahead and just come out with CK1 Elixir, don't they? They were so close. CK1 Essence. Elixir, you were right there. But like I said, CK1s, these are just about universally cheapies. Of course, they hit the market at retail, but then a couple months down the road, you usually find them for a pretty nice price. And if you are a fan of CK1, another one to put on your radar. They got multiple that come out every single year. Imagine somebody out there with a CK1 collection. They have like every single flanker, all the summer releases, all that stuff. Just be massive. I wonder how many that actually is. Not sure. Maybe 30? Probably way off. All right, guys, that is it. Those are the upcoming releases. Hopefully we get a new Christian Dior before too long. See how that goes. Changing of the guard at Christian Dior, Francis Kirkchan taking over there. And I am sure that they're like, okay, let's have a Sauvage Elixir style release, not a Mr. Burberry style release. So I'm really intrigued to see what they come out with there next. But for now, at least we have a new Chanel coming our way, even if it is the absolute last one I would have ever guessed. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I will see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.